On Action Network, many features are common to all of our actions. This video will cover all the concepts and features that are common across Action Network. Whether you're making a petition, event, ticketed event, form, letter campaign, event campaign, or fundraiser, this video will show what happens after someone takes action, the statistics we track, how to embed an action on your own site, and how we recognize returning users on Action Network. To start, let's create a new form. I'm going to walk through a few common pieces on here, but if you'd like to know more about any of these particular actions, check out those video tutorials at help.actionnetwork.org. So let's go ahead and click on the Start Organizing menu and select Form. First off, across all of our actions, we have a one-to-one creation interface, which means what you see is what you get. When your action goes live, the layout will be the same, the text formatting will be the same, and the form will be the same. So there's no guesswork. First, let's take a look at the top right of the page where it says Action Language. If you click this, you'll see a drop-down menu of all the languages we currently offer: English, Danish, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. When you select a different language, we'll change all the text that you can't edit, like a sign here button or thank you. You can't really see that here, but I'll show you on the next page. To create my form, let's give it a title. On all your actions, you'll also have the option to create an administrative title, up here at the top. This is for internal and organizational use only, so the public won't be able to see it. But if you want to add an administrative title, it can help you locate actions quickly when targeting or linking actions in emails. Here, you have an option for adding a banner image. We'll give you some size guidelines, but you can upload your own photo. Next, we can add a description of our action and why people should participate. At the top of the description section, you'll see all these formatting options. This is the same toolbar that's going to be at the top of all of your actions. You can write it in HTML, format your headings, align your text to the left, center, right, or justify, bold, italicize, or strike through your text, add bulleted or numbered lists, add an image, video, or table, add links and hyperlinks, or add a horizontal line rule. Use these formatting options to customize the appearance of your action. Next, you'll see the Attribution Center, here. This is how you tell us where to put the data for each action, and is the name publicly displayed on your live action page. This is important because it shows activists which names they can expect emails from or recognize for future actions. The Action By shows an individual creator, right here, and the Sponsored By shows a group, which you can select from the drop-down menu. In most cases, you'll just want to show the action that's sponsored by your group, so all the data will go to your group and not the individual. For more information on groups, please watch our groups video tutorial at help.actionnetwork.org. Now let's go back to the top right. Over here, you can see that we have a goal slider. All our actions have a goal slider so that you can publicly show how many people have taken action. Our goal slider will start at 25 signatures and will increase as you reach and surpass your goals. This way, you're always showing momentum. The goal slider is removable if you prefer not to have it. Next is the form that our activists will fill out when they want to take action. We'll give our form a header. Below that, you'll see the form fields that your activists will fill out. By default, we'll ask for first name, last name, email address, and zip code. You can click the checkbox to make an action required, or the red X if you want to remove it. You won't be able to remove the email field from the form because that's how we track your activists. If you'd like to add additional questions, you have a couple of options. The first is our easy-to-use form builder. So click on the blue Add or Edit Additional Form Questions button. If you've created any pre-built questions, you can select it from this drop-down menu and drag it over to your form on the left. If you're creating a new question, look at this blank questions area. The options you have are a text input box for just one line of text, a text area for when you're asking people for longer pieces of information, like asking people to share their story. You can use radio buttons if you want people to select just one option, checkboxes when you want to let someone select more than one response, and select box, which is a drop-down menu for when there are a lot of options, but people should only select one. To use the text input or text area, just click the one you want and drag and drop it into your form. Then click and a box will pop up to allow you to edit it. Name is what you'll call this question on the back end. So for this question, we'll ask people to share their story. So our name will be story. The label is what's here, next to your box. The placeholder is the gray text that's inside the box. So for label, we'll ask people, what's your story? And for placeholder, we'll say, tell us. You can then check this box if you want it to be required. Then click the blue Save button. Radio buttons, checkboxes, and select box drop menus are a little different. You have two options here on how you want to store the information. First, you can store data in a custom field, like a column on a spreadsheet, or you can store it as a tag added to the activist record when they select an option. Let's go over custom fields first. You'll still pick which kind of question you want, and then drag it over to your form. You click on it. The name is what you'll call this on the back end. So let's say we want to know if people are interested in volunteering. We'll make the name volunteer. Our label will be what's over here, to the left of the box. We'll say, are you interested in volunteering? Then we need to give options. Where it says option 1, I'm going to write yes. In place of option 2, I'm going to write no. You can create as many options as you'd like. Just hit the Enter button to create a new line. Now, whenever your activist checks a checkbox, it will have an input of 1 in the column on the spreadsheet. To the right of the vertical line is the label that the response option will be stored as in the custom field. So we'll put, for yes, volunteer _ yes. For no, we'll put volunteer _ no. And for maybe, we'll say volunteer _ maybe. Then just click this box if you want the question to be required. And click Save. Like I said earlier, you also have the option to store the data as tags instead of custom fields. So let's try that with radio buttons. Again, we'll drag and drop the radio buttons to the form, click on it, and click this blue or Tag an Activist button. Then change the label and put in all our options. Again, you'll write the text you want your activist to see to the left of the vertical line. And to the right of the line, you'll write the tag you want to use. This can be a tag you've already created or a new one. Then click Save. And whenever an activist selects one of those options, it will be stored as a tag on their individual account. For more information about tags, please watch our tags video tutorial at help.actionnetwork.org. Now, let's go over reordering the question. You can reorder the questions easily just by dragging them up and down. When you're done adding and editing your additional form questions, click the green Save Form button. Now, you'll see the questions we just made appear in the sidebar here. You can also add custom questions by using the green Add Form HTML button. Just click the button and write your code in the box below. If you need help with the HTML code, click this red See Instructions text. And our style guide will open in a new tab and give you the code that you need. You can just copy and paste it into the HTML box and you'll be good to go. When you're done with your form, you have a couple of options. If you need to save your work and come back to it later, or want someone else, like a supervisor or co-organizer, to take a look at the form before you publish it, you can use this green Save and Preview button to open in a new tab, or send this private preview link. Just note that the link will be different when you actually publish your petition. If you don't want to preview your form just yet, click the blue Save and Go to Next Step button. Here, we'll set up our thank you page. This gives your activists any additional instructions and lets them share the action on social media, email it to a friend, or embed it on their website. If you want to remove this function, simply remove the sidebar. You can always add it back later. Remember how you couldn't really see the language change on the first page? Here on the thank you page, if you go back up to the drop-down box, select the language you want, and click Save and Preview, you'll see all this text changes. You now have the option to save it as a draft or click the red button to save and publish. This will make your form live. Let's go ahead and publish. This brings us to our Action Manage page. From here, you can view and edit the petition, add tags, unpublish the petition, and view statistics. Let's go through some of those pieces individually. First, you'll notice our administrative title will take the place of the public title. Your administrative title will take the place of public title in all internal actions, like targeting and on this Action Manage page. The public title is in the italics underneath. You can always go back and edit or remove the administrative title by clicking the pen and paper image over here to the right. If you don't already have an administrative title, you'll see a plus button next to the title, and you can add one there. Below the title, you'll see these 4 buttons. The View Form takes you to the Live Form page. The Edit Form button lets you make changes to the form you just made. Everything can be edited on your actions, but once you hit Publish, we create a URL for you based on the title of your action. So if you edit the title after publishing, your URL won't change. So try to have your title finalized before publishing. The next button is Edit Tags. Tags are applied to actions when you want every person who takes that action to have a tag added to their record. So we click Edit Tags, and we can select tags from a drop-down menu. To learn more about this, check out our tags video tutorial at help.actionnetwork.org. The last button here is Unpublish. If you ever want to take your action offline temporarily or permanently, this will put your action in draft mode, and no one will be able to take the action. Note that actions cannot be completely deleted from Action Network, only unpublished. Even when the action is unpublished, you'll have the data on your action takers. Below here, there are 2 more buttons, Create Email and Create Report. These buttons allow you to quickly generate an email or report targeting all the people who have taken this particular action. When you use these buttons, the people will already be selected on your targeting page, but you can always add more targeting if you want. Now let's go back up to the View Form button so we can see our live page. Here's the form we just created. As you can see, our one-to-one interface makes the layout and format the same as when we were creating the form. All Action Network actions will look pretty similar to this. Now, over here on the right, you'll see it says, "Welcome back, Amy." This is because Action Network recognizes our users that are already in our system. We'll also recognize users who are logged into an Action Network account. So if I were a new activist, I'd see this: first name, last name, email address, zip code, and our other custom questions. Returning activists will only have to fill out these custom questions if they're not already in the system. This is a feature that a lot of people really like, since it takes much less time for returning activists to take action. Just one click and they're on their way. Below this form section, you'll see this fine print. You may receive updates from Action Network Alliance for ice cream, the sponsor of this form. This disclaimer lets people know that they're opting into your email list. If they don't want to subscribe, they just have to click Edit Subscription Preferences and uncheck the Opt-in button. If your group is part of a network, all this info will automatically flow up to the parent group. Now let's fill out the form that we just made as a new activist. You'll notice that this thank you page also looks exactly like the page we made when creating the form. Also, like the Action Manage page, your activists have the option to share their link on social media, embed the action in their own website, and email a friend. You can customize all this on the back end of your Action Manage page. Let's take a look at that now. To change what people will see after they take your action, we'll go to the Response Options tab. At the top, you'll see a thank you redirect link. Here, you can put a URL to your website, your organization's donation page, or another action. Just put the URL here, and your activists will see that page instead of our thank you page. The unpublished redirect link is there if you decide to unpublish your action, but someone ends up on the form anyway. In that case, we'll show them our default "this page no longer exists," but you can have it redirect to your own website or a different action. Below that, you'll see an auto-response email. This is an email automatically populated with the information you provided when creating the action. You can edit this email to say whatever you'd like and provide any information that you think your activist would like to have. You can also change the subject, the name of whoever you want the email to be from, and the reply to address. And if you're a partner, you can also add an email wrapper. You can also change what your activists are being asked to share. Let's tab over to the Sharing Options tab. Here, you'll see some pre-filled options for Facebook and Twitter. When someone clicks on the social media sharing buttons on the thank you page or on the links in your thank you email, a box will pop up and ask them to post to Facebook or Twitter. We'll pre-fill this with the title of your action, the description you provide, and the link to your action on Action Network. But you can change the default text for sharing by just clicking the box and changing it however you'd like. This way, you can add a campaign hashtag or your own Twitter handle. You can also change the link if you've embedded the action on your own site, and you can even change the default image for posting to Facebook. For Twitter, it's especially important to note the character limit here. If your action has a long title, it may not all fit. But keep in mind that we post here how many characters you have remaining, so you know where you stand. You might also want to leave some characters available so that people can share their own thoughts too. If you scroll down, you'll see the Email a Friend option. This will be included on the thank you page and has suggested text for activists to email their friends. We found that people like to copy and paste into their own email client more than they like the option to automatically send their own email. This gives your activists way more control. Like the social media share text, will automatically populate the email with the title of your action, the description you wrote, and a link to where the recipient can take action to. Use this box to edit the email text that will be provided to activists to share with their friends. Lastly, here we have a direct link. This is a link that will show on the thank you page for people to copy and paste if they want to share your action. The default is the Action Network link to your action, but you can also include a direct link if the action is embedded on your website instead. When you finish changing the sharing options, don't forget to click the blue Save Sharing Options button. When When we scroll up and look to the right, we'll see some code under Embed This Action. This is your embed code. Every action you create in Action Network has code for an embeddable widget. You can just copy and paste this code into your website and the action will appear there. This way, you can either keep activists on your own website or direct them to the Action Network default page. When you embed an action, you have a few options for how it displays on your site. Under the embed code, you'll see this little gray box. Click here and you can change the widget. You have the option to change the width of your widget so that it will fit your site better. Our default widget is in standard styles. This means it has a box around it with a white background. If you want a widget that has a transparent background and less styling, you can choose layout-only styles. If you prefer none of our styling and want to do it all yourself in CSS, click No Styles. There's also an option here for layout. Our default is standard layout, which brings the title of your action and the form to submit responses, but not the description or image. This is so you have more flexibility with how that all appears by adding those pieces on your site directly. If you prefer to have the entire action brought over, including the description, maps for events, and images, then select Full Layout. Once people have filled out your form or other actions, you'll want to see statistics. So let's tab over to the Statistics tab. The first piece shows how many people have taken your action each day. We'll also show, in website tracking, which websites people have clicked from, like how many have come from your website or Facebook. Our next section is referral tracking. One of the unique features of Action Network is how easily you can work with other people and organizations that are also using Action Network. The easiest way to do that is through referral codes. Referral codes allow you to work collaboratively with other organizations to share action and data seamlessly. Referral codes are automatically generated by Action Network for an individual account. When a user is logged into Action Network, every share link on the thank you page is tagged automatically with their unique referral code. Your partners can then share a link or embed the action with their referral code attached. Then, when someone takes that action, their data will go to you as the action creator, but also to them as your partner. This eliminates the need for someone in your organization to manage the data and deal with sending spreadsheets to partners. Another benefit is that if you and an ally have a cause in common but maybe slightly different messaging, you can each embed a petition on your own site with your own language, images, styling, and get credit for the activists that you bring in. You can also see where the referral code is in the direct link. In our referral tracking, we'll track how many people have taken action with different referral codes, as well as how many of those people are new to your list here. This is great for seeing which of your allies are bringing in the most people. The next section is source tracking. Unlike referral codes, source codes are created by typing in whatever you'd like as a source. This is great for tracking how many activists you're getting from different places that you've posted your action, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, a blog post, website, or an email. Again, you'll see a source code in the widget as source equals widget. You can simply change this by adding the text in the code to a partner organization and make it say something like source equals ally widget. This lets you not only know which organization is bringing in however many activists, but also how that organization is getting people to take action. And again, you'll see how many people came through a particular source and how many of those people are new to your list. You can do targeting based on source code as well. So you can send an email or pull a report from everyone who came to your list just via a blog post. This isn't just for collaborative work. You can also add source codes for any place that you are hosting, even to individual times that you send out a post on Facebook or Twitter, like source equals Facebook 3 a.m. Source codes are automatically added to the thank you page share link. So for example, if someone decides to share an action on Twitter, the source code source equals Twitter will automatically be added to their link. If you add a source code to a URL containing a widget, all of the actions taken on that widget will reflect the source code used in the hosting page's URL, rather than the widget source code itself. Before wrapping up, I want to touch on two other aspects of your Action Manage page. First, on all your Action Manage pages, you'll see this drop-down menu for page wrappers. Our system lets you add your branding and logo to the action pages hosted on Action Network. This drop-down menu lets you select which of those you'd like on your page. Wrappers are a partner feature, so if you're interested in accessing that, please visit our partnerships page at actionnetwork.org/partnerships. We also have a video tutorial on page wrappers that you can watch for more information at help.actionnetwork.org. Lastly, I want to point out our Next Steps tab. We know that not everyone using Action Network is a professional organizer with a ton of experience building campaigns. We also know that sometimes professionals can use a little reminder or something to spur ideas. So in the Next Steps tab, you'll see some ideas of how you can take your campaign to the next level. Things like getting more action takers, getting some news coverage, and doing follow-up actions. Take a look at these tips here as you plan and implement your campaign. And that brings us to the end of our Common Action Concepts video. I know that was a lot of information, so check out help.actionnetwork.org and any of our other video tutorials if you have any more questions or want to refresh your memory on any of the concepts we covered.